Again, if you follow this basic strategy, it requires a level of discipline. But if you follow this, you will be rich. It's just a bottom line. And this isn't me saying this. This is the people who have practiced this for years, thousands of years, who have figured this out. Everyone, my name is D.L.Morgan. I'm the founder and CEO of the Family Insurance, and welcome to another episode of Black Money, your favorite show where we talk about all things finance that we can benefit from starting today. Now, this one I'm really excited about, guys. I'm really excited about this one. I have a special gift at the end of this as well. So, what I want to talk to you guys about is one book that has changed my life. And what that book is, The Richest Man in Babylon. If you have not read it, I highly suggest that you go and read it. I'll actually be doing a giveaway, and I'll send a free copy to someone in the one of the viewers here. But I highly recommend you check this book out. If you know, you know. This book has changed the game in the financial space for years, and the premise of this book is literally just talking about different financial principles and strategies that have proven the test of time, that was successful during the Babylonian era, hence the name, right? And has been successful for every civilization up until this point. It has not changed. One thing about principles, they do not change. Doesn't matter the time, doesn't matter the era, what's going on, what's hot, what's trending, principles stay the same. And your financial principles are the exact same thing. So I'm just going to talk about one principle, one key thing in this book that really stood out, that really will help benefit a lot of you. Even if you don't read the book, this piece of information will change your life forever. So please listen closely and take notes. So what we're going to be talking about, as you guys can see to my left here, is the 70-30 rule. It's my new little board. I hope you guys like it. The 70-30 rule. Now, if you have read the book, you know exactly what the 70-30 rule is. If you don't know what it is, let's break it down. It's a financial strategy of how you are to allocate your funds when you get them, right? Whether it's $1, $10, $100, $1,000, $1 million. What you want to do is you want to break it down into 70-30. 70%, 30%. Now, let's say you get $100. The very first thing you want to do, the very first concept of the 70-30 rule, take the first 30% of what you make and you want to break that down into three individual components, right? 10%, 10%, 10%. So you take the first 30%, let's say you make $100, you take the first $30 and you break it down into $10, $10, $10, right? So you have 70 left over. That's the 70%, but we'll get to that. So what you want to do with your very first check, right? When you get $1, you get $100, you want to take that first 10% and you want to tithe, right? You want to give it away. You want to be charitable. You want to give back. Whatever your belief is, you want to give it away, right? Because that is the only way that you are able to receive, is when you have a giving heart. That is a principle of life. I didn't make it that way. Take it up with God. But that is what you want to do. You want to tithe, pay your tithes, charity, charitable donation, whatever that may be for you. 10% now gone. $10 now gone. Now you have $90 left over. You want to take the second 10% and you want to put that into a savings account, right? You want that money to be sitting there for an emergency fund, for maybe if you have a purchase that you may want to be, saving up for. You take that second 10%, that second $10, and you put it into an emergency fund, a savings account. And then you take the last $10, the last 10% of the 30%, and you put that into an investment, a vehicle that is going to make you money while you sleep, to where you do not have to actively work for the money, right? So let me break it down again in case you missed it. And I highly suggest you guys take notes. You get $100. You want to take $30 from that $100 off the top. $10 out of that 30, you will pay your tithes. You will give it to charity. You will bless someone else, right? Organization, a person, whatever. The second $10, the second 10%, right? Now it's $20. You take that and you put that $10 into your savings account, into your emergency fund. Ideally, you want to have at least a year of your income put aside into an emergency fund, into a savings, just in case anything happens, like a COVID situation. You have a year of savings to fall back on. Basic principle, right? The last 10%, the last $10 out of that 30, you want to invest it. You want to put your money in a vehicle, an asset. If you want to help with that, I can help with that. But you want to take that 10% and you want to put that into a vehicle, an asset that will make you money while you are doing other things, while you're sleeping, where you do not have to actively do anything. We call this passive income, right? So 10, 10, 10. That's the first 30%, right? The leftover balance in this example would be $70, 70%. What you do with that is you use that remaining money to pay your bills. Ideally, you want to break it down into a 50-20 if you can, but sometimes it may have to be 60-10. It may have to be 65-5, right? But you want to take the rest of that $70 and you want to take care of your bills, whatever bills you may have, mortgage, student loans, et cetera, et cetera. What's ever left over, you want to use that for leisure, treat yourself, et cetera, right? But you treat yourself last. So how it works is you pay yourself first, right? So when you get $100, that 30%, you're paying yourself first. Now you might be saying like, David, what do you mean? Like you told me 10% of that, I have to give it away to someone. You are technically still paying yourself first, right? If you understand the law of reciprocity, you reap what you sow, karma, whatever you want to call it, right? That money will come back to you at a greater return. It's an investment into your future, right? Whether you see it that way or not, that's exactly what it is. And you just change your mindset when it comes to the money, right? So you take that 10%, you give it away, take another 10%, you put it in savings, you take the other 10%, you invest it, right? Those three things you're paying yourself first. That's the concept of, that's pretty much the whole idea of this book, is you pay yourself before you pay anybody else. We've been taught in this country to pay all your bills first and then try to manage what's left over. That is absolutely wrong. The wealthy, the rich, the people who tell you to pay them first, they pay themselves first, right? Like the CEOs and the companies, the electric company, all these people, they pay themselves first and then they pay everything else, right? If we follow the same principle, it does not matter what your income is, whether you are in a poverty level or you are making millions a year, you will be financially well off if you are able to discipline yourself to stick with this. This is a proven strategy. Don't believe me? It's right here in the book. So 30%, you pay yourself first. If you don't take anything else from this, pay yourself first. 10% tithes, 10% savings, 10% investing. The remaining 70%, you then use that to pay Uncle Sam and your bills and everybody else, right? Because they're not going to pay you first. They're always going to pay themselves first. The same way they make you wait, you make them wait. I'm not saying default on your bills, but you pay yourself first because you are the most important asset in your family. You are. Your income earning ability, you are the most important asset. You are the most important. Not your bills, not your mortgage, not your rent, not your car note, not none of that. That is not that's not as important as you are to your financial future. Those things will always be there, but the opportunity for you to make money and invest will not. So you want to pay yourself first. Again, if you follow this basic strategy, it requires a level of discipline. But if you follow this, you will be rich. It's just a bottom line. And this isn't me saying this. This is the people who have practiced this for years, thousands of years, who have figured this out. That it does not matter what tax bracket you are. If you are able to discipline yourself to do this, no matter if you're in poverty or rich already, you will be financially well off at a given point in your life. It may take 20 years, it may take 30 years, it may take 10 years. But if you are able to discipline yourself and commit to it, you will be financially well off. Some of you may be thinking like, how in the world am I supposed to take 70% of my income, David, and put it away? That's a valid question. If you are not able to follow the 70-30 rule, you want to start with where you can be, right? You may have to do 80-20. You may have to do 90-10. There's nothing wrong with that. This is a level. This is a muscle. You want to develop it. You want to grow. There's nothing wrong with starting where you are. I tell my clients all the time, start with where you're comfortable because you can always increase it at a later time. Same thing with this principle. Start with wherever you are comfortable and increase it at a later time. Now, with that being said, and don't take this the wrong way, but if you cannot do 70-30, which most people cannot do, by the nature of this rule, and it's not my rule, it's not the David rule, it's the 70-30 rule, right? you are living beyond your means. And if you're not able to do that, what you want to do is possibly cut back on what spending, maybe some habits, maybe you drink, maybe you smoke, maybe you go to the club, maybe you have a shopping problem. You want to cut back on some things until you are able to comfortably do 70-30, right? That is ultimately the goal. And I promise you, if you follow this, if you discipline yourself to do this, you will look back on your life and you will be very, very grateful you did. If you guys have any questions about this, or if you want to learn about an asset, a vehicle that you can invest that 10% into, reach out to me. Now, for the giveaway, all you have to do is like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who you think that it will help, that it will bless, that will benefit from this information. And I will choose one winner and I will send you guys, I will buy a copy for you. One Richest Man in Babylon. I'll send it to you guys. I'll take care of shipping, handling, et cetera, et cetera. That way you can get going on your financial journey the right way. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, and I'll be looking for that lucky winner. Until next time, guys, we'll talk to you.